How can someone be this disrespectful? Moistcrtical mit einem neuen Hit. Ich bin mal gespannt, was er da meint und wen er da vor allem meint.
There's few accomplishments on this planet that have the same level of prestige as climbing Mount Everest. For the longest time, it was just viewed as one of the most impressive things a person could do. You conquered nature. You defied the gods.
Giannis trailing the lob. Giannis Antetokounmpo from Chris Middleton.
Haben die in Altenheim nicht schon Nachtruhe?
Halt dein Maul, Digga. So eine Frechheit. Du kannst es auch behalten, wenn da so eine Scheiße bei rumkommt, du Arschloch. Kuss die hier.
Ridiculous mountain. A mountain that's claimed more souls than Shang Tsung. Hundreds of people have died going on expeditions up Mount Everest, so much so that they actually used their corpses as waypoints. Like the famous green boots, which is an unidentified body of a climber who had green boots that perished on the mountain, and they now use them as a fucking waypoint. That is as extreme as shit gets. That is Insano style. So, climbing Mount Everest still has a very powerful reputation. Though I will say, I feel like over the last few years, or maybe even like the last decade or so, its pedigree hasn't quite been the same. It's been
War ein guter Dreck, Digga. Wenn die anderen stolz drauf. Kuss, Digga.
Perceived in a different way. Since it's so expensive to climb, a lot of people kind of view it now as more of like a rich person's getaway where they just go there to collect the Pokemon gym badge to say that they climbed Mount Everest. And really what they did is just kind of had the Sherpas do everything for them. So a lot of people don't view Mount Everest the same way when it comes to these expeditions, but that's still not to say that it's easy by any means. People still die there all the time. This year alone, there's already been quite a few deaths on the mountain. So it's not Weenie Hut Jr. mode by any means, but it is worth mentioning that a lot of people don't view climbing Mount Everest the same way because it's become so commercialized. But the reason I'm talking about it today is because yesterday there was a story that came out about a man who was climbing Mount Everest and nearly died. But he was saved by a Sherpa. And after his life was saved by this fucking angel, a hero that literally carried this man on their back down the mountain to safety so they could be airlifted out. In response to that unbelievable action, the guy started thanking his sponsors, and only his sponsors. He never thanked the Sherpa that saved him, or really any of the Sherpas that helped save his life and perform this incredible rescue. He only had his sponsors to thank, at least until public backlash started mounting, and then he, like, you know, very quickly said thanks to the people that actually saved his life. It's just crazy. So let me go over this story with you because it's a wacky one. So this was posted on Instagram from the Sherpa that found and helped save this man's life. I hope I don't fuck up the name pronunciation. I think it's Gelje Sherpa. But basically, they were on an expedition and they had a client and noticed that this guy was about to go meet the big man upstairs. He was on death's door about to get a game over screen and decided to cancel the trip and focus instead on rescuing him and saving his life. So they strapped the man to Gelje Sherpa's back and began the 6-hour journey downward in order for him to be airlifted out. He is literally carrying this guy on his back. This is some shit out of Death Stranding. Now, of course, this wasn't the only Sherpa that helped here. There was a lot of people that came to the aid and saved this man's life. And he had nothing to say about his saviors here. Instead, he immediately went to thanking his sponsors.
Imagine, du wirst von dem Mount fucking Everest gerettet, Digga, weil du kurz vorm Sterben bist. Und anstatt dich bei den Leuten zu bedanken, die dich hier runtergeholt haben, bedankst du dich bei deinen fucking Sponsoren, Digga, die dir halt nicht ein bisschen dabei geholfen haben. Nicht aber kennst du in der Kürzung, du wilder Rentner. Was ist das, du Adler?
His statement was, I shit you not, I am alive today because I had the best and dedicated partners, the 14th Peaks Expedition Co. and Global Rescue Inns. On his own...
Pass auf, weißt du, warum er da sein Sponsoren dank Vogelweder. Ach so! Digga! Was sind die Abkürzungen davon? Aber weißt du, warum er das so macht? Bestimmt hat er ein Sponsoring gehabt, Digga, die ihn das gesponsert haben, damit er da überhaupt drauf geht. Sollte am Ende dann auf dem Berg wahrscheinlich ein Foto machen mit irgendeinem Shit von denen, was weiß ich, Digga, ein Banner oder irgendwie so eine Kacke. Das hat er nicht hinbekommen, weil er kurz davor fast am Sterben war, Digga. Und deswegen macht er das jetzt im Endeffekt im Nachhinein beim Runterkommen.
On Instagram post, this is all he had to say. How important is rescue team and heli rescue on Everest expedition? Believe me, it's very important. I'm alive today because I had the best and dedicated partners, the 14 Peaks Expedition Co. and Global Rescue. Everest in previous years, especially in 2022, was good, but in 2023 it was tough and taking many lives. He literally doesn't even mention the people that actually saved him, and instead just takes this as like a sponsorship opportunity to try and like help make his brand partners happy. Like, oh guys, look, the most recent Everest expedition went tits up. I almost died. But thanks to the Ridge Wallet and fucking Blue Apron, I'm alive here today. So, all's good in the world, and I can't wait to get back out there again with my brand partners. As the light was leaving
Mit dem Fini so ein Zahnstocher wäre noch räudiger gewesen.
my eyes,
Ey, aber Bruder, ne, bei denen kannst du dir alles vorstellen. 100%ig war das so ein fucking Sponsor.
my vision fading, I thought to myself, I can't afford to die here. Because I've got Raid Shadow Legends to be playing at home, damn it. And that's the only thing that got me through that expedition at the top of Everest. That's the only reason I made it back in one piece. That's just fucking crazy to me. There's no shot he just forgot to mention the people that saved him. There's no way you could forget who saved your fucking life. This was a conscious decision to not even mention them for some reason, and instead just mention your sponsor.
Er hat sich aktiv dagegen entschieden, irgendwas über die Leute zu sagen.
It blows my mind. Now, like I mentioned, a lot of people started blowing up at this guy, you know, saying, why aren't you mentioning, you know, Gal J Sherpa and everyone that helped save you? And eventually he made a post where he thanked all the Sherpas that had a role in his rescue, which does include Gal J Sherpa. But the fact that they had to, like, pry that thank you out of him is so baffling. They had to squeeze this guy like a tube of Go-Gurt in order for him to just acknowledge the people that actually saved him on that mountain. And Gal J Sherpa seems like a saint, because even after all of that, Gal J just said, thank you, hope you're recovering well. So he really just cared that the guy was alive and, you know, healthy after all of this. So he is a fucking saint. Because the man whose life was saved got an entire press tour out of this. He went on television, he had tons of posts. This was a big story.
Bro.
And he didn't acknowledge anyone that saved him, which seems like such a slap in the face of the people that risked their lives to save his.
Guck's, Bruder, komm mal meinen fucking Clash Royale Clan.
They just seem happy that they were able to help and that this guy is now alive. Now, I want to show another clip that kind of goes over it a bit more. This is from CNN when they covered this story earlier this week.
The guide was climbing with someone else up Mount Everest when he spotted the climber in distress, clinging to a rope and shivering. Temperatures in that area can drop to negative 86 degrees Fahrenheit. The Sherpa wrapped the climber up, put him on his back, and carried him down.
Was ist denn Celsius, Digga? Minus 50 Grad?
Descending nearly 2,000 feet.
In places where it was rockier, we could not drag him. We had to carry him on our backs with difficulty.
How do you not thank them? I can't get over that.
Warte mal, der Typ heißt von sich aus einfach Sherpa? Das habe ich vorhin nicht gerafft.
This is not something that you just, you know, slipped your mind, you know, happy to be alive, but I'm even happier my sponsors are still behind me. They got my back. Oh, and then, of course, yeah, also some people saved me. Like, I don't know how you don't thank them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I thought it was kind of a wild story. And that's about it. So, yeah.
Also, wir sind verloren. Wir sind einfach verloren. Es gibt keine andere Zusammenfassung mehr dafür. Leute danken nicht mehr den Leuten, denen sie geholfen haben, sondern ihren Sponsoren.